Hi, I'm Chris Maragakis of Simply Be Retreats and Therapies. I'm a life coach, therapist and podcaster. Welcome to Mindful Mutterings. Please like, share and subscribe. And as always, thanks for listening. Hi, thanks for joining me today. This week I'm talking about how we relax and remembering to relax, or for some, learning to relax. For so many of us, life is just one mad rush, and there never seems to be enough time to do all the things that we think have to be done or we feel need to be done, let alone any of the things that we want to do. And we've become so conditioned to being busy that I think for a lot of us, we've actually forgotten how to relax. And our body and our brains are an incredible machine that, when treated with respect, can give us a fantastic human experience. Sadly, we all too often neglect to give our body and our brains the proper rest and downtime that they need to recuperate from the stresses and strains of daily life. And without proper rest, our body and our brains become overworked and burnt out, and we can start to feel ill or stressed or overwhelmed. And this then has a knock-on effect on our problem solving, our decision making and our well-being. And then that leaves us susceptible to disease and poor mental health. And the thing is, I think also we've just forgotten that life is to be enjoyed, and we're so busy existing and rushing our way through it to get to some imaginary finish point that we've forgotten to take time and just enjoy today. So my top 5 tips to help you relax and get your mojo back are: number 1, become mindful. If you listen to my podcast, this one will not be a surprise to you. You cannot know what is going on in your brain or how you're running your life effectively if you're not paying attention. And so instead of operating on autopilot, begin to question why you're so busy. Are you using tasks to keep your life busy so that you don't have to face things that you don't want to deal with? Is it because you don't like the quiet space in your head? Is it because you feel that if you're not busy, people will judge you as lazy? Is it because you feel you get more respect if you're seen to be rushing around? Is it because you feel that you need to do stuff for other people? Pay attention to what it is that is making your life so busy and stopping you from having time to relax and enjoy yourself. And then look for ways to reduce the tasks. Maybe you can lessen all this busy work. Maybe, not do stuff with such frequency, or delegate jobs, or look for ways to use technology to help yourself. Another common misconception is that multitasking is the best way to get things done. There's scientific evidence now that proves that actually it takes us longer to do a job if we're doing multiple jobs at the same time, because our brain has to keep reprogramming and rerouting every time we switch tasks. And so actually, by just concentrating all our attention on one job, we would perform it better, and we would get it done quicker and without a lot of the stress. So number 1, become mindful. Number 2, get physical. Any form of exercise will release endorphins, which are the happy chemicals in our bodies and our brain. And these help us to relax and feel happier and calmer. And so any exercise would be good. But if you try walking or jogging, yoga or Pilates, they also have a meditative aspect that will enable you to lessen the constant chatter in your head, because that in itself is exhausting. Having these thoughts constantly bouncing around in your head, which just wears you out. And so it's about having ways that help you physically relax, but also help you mentally relax too. Number 3, journal or meditate. When we constantly have thoughts jumping around in our brains, we can find it really difficult to think straight, and it almost feels like we need to take our brain out and give it a clean, or maybe give it a shake to get rid of some of the thoughts, just so that we can quieten it all down a bit. And journaling or meditation can help us with this. Your writing when you're journaling doesn't have to be grammatically correct. It doesn't even have to be in coherent sentences. You can literally vomit the contents of your brain onto the page. And as soon as you do that, you'll start to feel calmer and less stressed. Then you can take the time when you're ready to read what you've written, and then you can start to organise your thoughts. You can start to see really whether, are they worth the stress that you're giving them, or is there something that you can do about them? And then if there is, you can problem solve and come up with a plan. Even if that plan is just to leave all those thoughts on the page and have a fresh start the next day. And meditation doesn't mean having to sit cross-legged, chanting Om. Any activity can be used for meditation. The most important thing is that you just focus on one thing to the exclusion of all else. That's what's important, not what you choose to focus on, because it's about creating that space to just calm everything down, get to know yourself, allow thoughts to arise, and just have some peace. And if the idea of meditating is too much for you, especially if you're really stressed out and really busy, the idea of trying to sit there quietly for 2 minutes or 5 minutes or even 20 minutes is just preposterous. So maybe do something different, maybe use an app like YouTube or Gaia or Headspace or Calm, because they all have guided meditations that you can listen to. It's not so much what you do, it's just about getting into the practice of giving yourself some breathing space. And that leads me on to number 4, which is to create space. So it's very difficult to feel calm and relaxed when you don't have any space. And for a busy head, all the tips above that I've just talked about will use. For a cluttered space or a cluttered environment around you, that can be very stressful, and it's far more relaxing when the energy can flow around a room and we're not surrounded by things. So quickest way to deal with that is to get 3 bags or boxes together, go around the space that you want to be relaxed in the most. Don't try and take on the whole house, don't try and do it all you're going to focus on is one area that you need to have a little oasis of calm. When you've got your 3 boxes, in the first one, go around, just pick up all the rubbish, anything that you just need to chuck away, pop it in the bag, sorted. Already you start to feel better because you've been proactive, and secondly because you can see space occurring. And then in the second box, put all the things that you no longer bring you joy, that you no longer need in your life and you're ready to let go of. Put them in the box and either give them away or sell them. And then the third box, put the things that you don't need every day or that you're happy not to have in the room with you, but you're not ready to get rid of yet. And then store them somewhere safely, a cupboard in a loft. Or maybe even just buy a pretty storage box and put them in there. The idea is that you're not constantly looking at all this clutter, because you can't relax, because your brain is working in the background thinking, I need to throw that out, I need to tidy this up, blah blah blah. It just becomes another distraction. And then when you're doing all this, don't forget to look under your bed, don't forget to look behind the sofas, because energy needs to be able to flow all around us. That's how our body recharges and we feel calmer and we can relax and feel better. And then rearrange what you're left with into a pleasing environment, maybe looking at changing the lighting, maybe banning electronic devices from that room, maybe putting a note on the door that just says time out, and you take yourself there, and unless the house is on fire, no one is allowed to disturb you for the 10-15 minutes that you're taking to just go and chill out in that room. So then that's number 4, and then we come to number 5, which is about spending time with the elements. And we are spiritual beings, whether we like it or not. We have a connection with nature, and if we don't engage with that, it impacts on our well-being. That's why whenever they're building towns or new estates, there always has to be some kind of green space or trees around us. So you might not have a green space that close to you, but if that's the case, if you don't have woods or you don't have a woodland area that you can go and walk, surround yourself with plants. If you've got a tiny balcony, have hanging baskets, maybe have some little pots hanging off the balcony, hang them in your bathroom. You have to be careful with plants in your bedroom, but make sure, Google's a wonderful thing. Have a look, see what plants work well in there, and just bring the green into your house. Same with a fire pit. If you can't sit around a fire and lose yourself in the flames occasionally, then maybe using candles, use them safely. Don't want any accidents to happen, but put candles everywhere, because it's the ambience and the flickering that helps connect us with the element of fire. If the sea or the river is too far away, sink into a hot, relaxing bath, or maybe listen to music. You can hear the sound of the waves on the shore. Anything that connects you to the elements will help you to relax and will improve your well-being. And then we come to fresh air. It's so important. It's really important to blow the cobwebs away. It's really important to clean the germs out of the house. We breathe out all this negativity into our house sometimes. If we're angry, if we're moaning about people, all of that kind of stuff, all that energy stays in the house. So open the windows, go for a walk, or even if you can't do those for whatever reason, focus on your breath. It's all the same. We're connecting with the element of air, and maybe you focus on some deep breathing, or maybe you do a balancing breath, or maybe you do something to gain energy. Any kind of pranayama is fantastic, but just taking a few deep breaths will help connect you to the element of air. So I'll recap those 5 again. The first one is to be mindful, just to be aware of how you're operating, and make sure that you're living and not going on autopilot. And then you can be aware of how you can make some changes. Number 2, get physical. Number 3, journal or meditate, or both. Number 4, create some space. And number 5, spend time with the elements. The only person who can choose to make time to relax, rest, and enjoy your life is you. And if you're still feeling like you have no time, then go back and repeat the steps I've talked about, but be more assertive, because for some reason you're not doing what you need to do to make time for you. And the bare bones of that is, if you don't make time for you, you can't help other people, because you will become worn out. If you don't make the time now, your body will take it when it's exhausted, and it will be far more inconvenient and potentially serious when it does. And you will be better for everyone around you if you are relaxed and your body is resting and you are feeling healthier and better, because you'll lift your vibration. You'll be easier to be around, which will improve the life of everybody you love and care for. So if you'd like to work with me on making some space in your life to relax, rest, and enjoy your time, then please get in touch. You can look me up on the website, which is simplybe.org.uk. You can email me on cm@simplybe.org.uk, or you can get in touch via my phone, which is 07974 618 499. Whichever you choose to do, please take care of you. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you join me next week for the next one. Take care. Bye.